Hey, welcome back to Drowning in Yarn. I'm Caleb. Today, I want to tell you about the 5 tools that make my knitting life so much easier that I don't want to be without them. And while you're watching this video, I hope you'll start thinking about the tools that you can't knit without, because you're going to need that information in order to enter a giveaway for a ball winder and a Swift, which were generously given to me by knitpicks.com so that I could give it to one of you. I'm going to jump right into my list, and the number 5 item is a ball winder and a Swift. These 2 tools are so helpful. If you buy your yarn in hank form, this often is how yarn is put up whenever you buy it from online, from an indie dyer, or from your local yarn store. A ball winder and a Swift make your life so much easier. Instead of sitting there winding your yarn into a ball by hand, you can simply put the yarn on the yarn Swift and wind it off into a cake with the ball winder. A job that could take I don't even know how long by hand is suddenly something that's done in a couple minutes. Even those balls of yarn that you get at a big box craft store or even your local yarn store can be turned into a cake of yarn using your yarn winder. And I think they're just so much easier to knit from that way. So a yarn winder is a very good investment no matter who you are or where you get your yarn. Number 4 on my list is an iPad and a PDF management app to manage all my PDF patterns. As a knitter, I've chosen to go paperless because I like the idea that all my digital patterns are in one place and all the notes that I take on those patterns are synced between all my devices. So if I start knitting with my iPad and I write notes with my Apple Pencil, those notes are available to me on my iPhone or my computer. Whenever I'm knitting, whatever device I have closest to me has all the information that I need. An iPad is just the perfect format because it's a large screen, it's light, it's easier to carry around than your computer, and it's bigger than your iPhone. Any tablet will kind of do this, and any really good PDF management app is going to be all you need. I used to use Knit Companion, and I think that's a great tool, but the interface was a little complicated for me, so I switched over to GoodNotes, which lets me write everything I want onto my patterns. It keeps all of my things in sync over iCloud. There's no subscription that I have to pay for, and it just works really well for me. But any kind of digital pattern solution that works for you is great. Number 3 on my list is sort of an obvious one, but it's a really good pouch for all the essentials that you need. I love this pouch from Paisley & Gold just because I think it's a really beautiful, well-made pouch that didn't really cost a whole lot, and it just inspires me every time I pick it up. And inside that pouch, I keep a lot of essentials that I'm gonna need for most of my projects. So I never have to go looking for them, which just removes a little bit of that friction that can cause frustration when you can't find what you need. Inside my knitting pouch, I keep a pair of scissors, I keep a measuring tape, a tapestry needle, some waste yarn, stitch markers, a lot of stitch markers because you can never have too many of those. And I keep a crochet hook just in case I need it to fix any stitches that I drop or mistakes that I make. If you're a newer knitter, it might take some time to discover what exact tools you use a lot, but those are a great place to start. And over time, you're gonna add things to your little knitting pouch that are gonna just make your knitting life a lot easier. Some people like to keep a little charm that you can get, like a keychain that has instructions for Kitchener stitch, for instance. Things like that will just make your life so much simpler because whenever you need them, you're gonna know where they are. You won't have to go searching for them, and you're just gonna be able to enjoy knitting instead of being frustrated by not being able to find what you need. So number 2 on my list seems super obvious, but it's a set of needles, and specifically an interchangeable set of needles. Now, needles are obviously necessary to knit, but interchangeable needles are a luxury that make your knitting life a little bit easier if you're able to afford that luxury. They can cost a little bit of money up front, but that investment pays off over time because an interchangeable set of needles is gonna give you pretty much all the needle sizes and lengths that you need. You may find that you need to supplement it here and there, but you're not gonna have to spend a lot of money every time you start a project buying specific needles for that project. As long as those needles aren't in use in another work in progress that you already have going, you're gonna have them to get started and not have to go looking or go buying needles, waiting for them to be delivered, whatever. You have all those things in an interchangeable set and you're good to go. So number 1 on my list is yarn. And that sounds really dumb, but I have a point. And that point is to buy yarn that you love. So instead of just stashing a lot of yarn and then you end up with a lot of stuff that was beautiful, but it's not your favorite to work with, think about what it is that you love in a yarn, whether it's 100% natural fibers like I love to work with, or acrylic if that's what you really enjoy, and buy those things and knit with those things. There's no point in buying a lot of yarn just to have it. It is so much better to buy yarn more intentionally and to knit with things that make you enjoy the process. At the end of the day, knitting is a hobby and it should be fun, and that is made a lot easier whenever you really love the materials you're working with, whatever those materials are. So that completes my list of the top 5 things that I can't knit without, and now I want to know what it is that inspires you when you're knitting. So if you'd like to win the ball winder and Swift that were given to me by knitpicks.com so I could give it to one of you, then head down to the comment section below and drop a comment letting me know what is your #1 knitting tool that makes your knitting life better. This giveaway is going to be left open for 2 weeks from the date that I post this video to my YouTube channel, and it's open to everybody. All the official rules are going to be in the description of this video, along with links to all the things that I talked about. Please be sure to share this video with your friends so they also have a chance to win. Hit the little like button while you're down there leaving your comment if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button if you want to stick around for more knitting and yarn related videos. I love making these videos and sharing them with you and learning so much from you with all the comments that you leave below. I can't wait to read everything that you say, and I will see you in the next one.